What's up, y'all? Welcome back. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off from lesson number 9. This is lesson number 10 of automating your appointments. Today, we are going to integrate Calendly with Zapier. And then through Zapier, we are going to set up a spreadsheet that's going to capture all of our appointments. Now, it's important to note you do need to have a premium Calendly in order for this to work, as well as a subscription with Zapier. Okay, which is like 25 bucks. So altogether, you're in 40 bucks. You ready? Let's do this. So I'm going to hop into my Zapier account. Just go ahead and go to your zapier.com. If you don't have one, it's really easy to set up and you get set up a free trial. Now, assuming you don't have any apps built into here yet, and this is the first time you're hearing about Zapier, let me just talk about it real quickly. Zapier is like the glue for the internet. It's like the pipes in a way. And essentially, it makes it really easy for non-coders like us to integrate different apps together. Now, Zapier has built a library of thousands of apps, maybe more. And because of that, there's just really an unlimited potential of what's possible with Zapier. You can essentially build, semi-functional apps using Zapier and websites and really piecing these things together. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up Calendly on Zapier. And so let's just jump into that. We pretty much say, hey, it's a workflow again. We want to choose the first app, and we're going to choose Calendly. And then we want to choose the destination app. And so it's going to capture data from Calendly and put that into the destination. And you can see that folks probably commonly use Google Sheets. Create a new Google Sheets row. And so let's go ahead and try it. Let's jump into that. Now, I know that we're going to need a spreadsheet that corresponds to this. And so let's just go ahead and build that out. Now, if you remember from the previous lesson, we were looking at all of the data that we could export from Calendly. And this is really good to see because essentially each of these columns represents a data field that we can transfer over from Zapier or through Zapier. And so the other benefit, just so that like it's super clear, is that now we don't need to export the data from Calendly. As long as we had set this up correctly, we're going to capture every appointment that comes through here. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet. It's called Events Export 2. I'm going to change it to AYA data for now. Okay, and now this is the export 2. That's great. I'm going to duplicate this because I want to keep a lot of these columns, but this is going to be a living document. It's going to be updated. So I'm going to delete this info. I'm going to add 1,000 rows. That's great. Now, what info do I want? Yeah, I do want the username and team. Now, again, you can customize this to be however you want. So you see all of this canceled by, and again, there's price and UTM, which is tracking. But I don't want any of that right now, at least. And I might even cut even more of this. Invitee accepted. Yeah, I might, remove that for now. It depends on where you're at and what data is important to you. If you're, it's important not to get overloaded with data too. So like the fact that you're able to count how many folks and what the quote key results are is already really powerful. So I may add like a results tab so you can keep track of that as well. So again, go ahead and format this however you want it to be formatted. And then what we're going to do is hop back into Zapier now. And the first thing we have to do is we need to integrate our Calendly account. Now, I am in my Zapier account, which is a pro account, and you're going to see that I'm pretty sure I have a Calendly in here. Yeah, I have a couple. And so what I want to do is connect a new one so that you can see what the experience is going to be. And it's really straightforward, thankfully. But all we have to do is copy and paste the API key that we get from Calendly. And so your unique API key is here. It's also under integrations, calendly.com/integrations. That's the first thing that pops up. It's your API key. Booyah, that one, okay? Now, don't regenerate it unless something's wrong and you need to reset everything. But if you regenerate it, that's like resetting your connections through Zapier. So we're just gonna copy that over and hop in here. Actually, in the next page, right here, and I can paste it here, okay? Normally you're not supposed to show your API keys, on a recorded video or whatever. So I'm going to regenerate this, and also I'm going to probably delete this account because I already have Calendly set up. So now you can see that the 5-minute deep dive Calendly is in there. So let's go ahead and continue. And now it's going to test if this works or not. And it's going to look in the Calendly and it's going to look for data. And it's like, boom, we found data. Okay, and then you can see the data, from the event that I put in here. Now, if you're really building all of this from scratch, then go ahead and just set up a demo account and some dummy data on your Calendly so that Zapier can read it and you don't have any issues. So now we're going to say, okay, Calendly's capturing the data. What do we want to do with the data? Okay, and so we're saying the action is going to happen inside of Google Spreadsheets. And so now we're saying the action event is create a spreadsheet row. There's a couple different, types of actions that you can create. Okay, but I'm not trying to leave that. Again, lots of options, but let's keep it simple. We're just trying to create a new row. Now we need to say our Google Sheets account. Thankfully, I already have this set up, but let's say we needed to connect a new one. It ends up being relatively straightforward. They just want us to log in through our Google account in this case, and then say that we authorize Zapier. And so I say, go ahead and do that if this is what you're trying to accomplish. I had set that up for my home email here. And so now I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to go into my drive and it's going to look for what spreadsheet, what do you want, right? So I want to look at my drive. And then thankfully, if I just open this and edited this, it should be the first one. And that's the case, the IOD data. And now we need to choose the sheet. And remember, there was a couple sheets, right? Because we had the events exports 2, and then we have appointments, which we just created. So I selected appointments, and now what it just did is it pulled all of the columns from this spreadsheet and it dropped it into here. And it's telling me for each field, how do you want to map the data? And so if I look at the username, I know on my end, that really means the host name. And so I'm not going to choose the invitee name. I'm going to look for the host name. And it might even be in the same name because we just went with it, right? No, it's not. Okay. Assigned host. Event assigned to, voila. That's the one. Okay. And now you're going to have to just continue doing this for each one. Team. Was there a team for this one? I don't think so. So again, this came from the data that we had just set up. And so maybe there is something that will help us capture that information. Event type, owner type, teams. Great. But I don't just want it to say teams. I want it to say what team specifically. And I know that this specific event doesn't necessarily have a team yet, this data that is getting pulled. And so, we just have to get creative about it. I think in this case, a neutral option could be the event type name. Since it says group consultation, maybe I need to make the event type more specific. So it says group consultation for startup, for example. You want to make sure that all this data is correct. So invitee name, at least some of this is going to perfectly match over. You don't need to capture all of this either. Like if you don't want first name and last name separately, that's extra work. No need to actually do it if you're not going to use it specifically. But if you are, then by all means do it. Now you can also search so that you could just search stuff here. See that? And so let's try to pick up the pace, and we'll wrap up this Zapier integration. So now I'm looking for a last name, and it looks like first name and last name was not included here, which is okay. There's no data, which is probably what happened with the team as well. Invitee email, now that is key information. I want that email in there. Okay. Time zone, probably don't care. The phone number, I do care about the phone number. And so, again, this is too many fields. I don't think we need all of this information, but we do want the critical info. Okay. And it looks like the phone number was not assigned to this event type either, right? So we want to make sure that our event types are set up so that we're capturing all of the data that we want. You don't want to continue going back and forth and messing things around here. You want to put it together well, let it live forever or as long as possible until you give it a really strong second pass. Okay, as you refine everything over time. So the rest of this stuff I decided I'm not going to put in here right now, but you just have to continue following each of these steps. I mean, start date and time, event start time, pretty, right? Just continue doing all of that. And once you do, hit continue, and then you can test this. I would not skip a test. I would definitely test it and then test it again and test it again before really letting people experience it live. So that's it. This is done. This is connected. Okay, so now whenever a new appointment is generated, the information is going to fall into the mapped columns here. All right, y'all. I hope that was super helpful. I will see you in the next video.